Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Renuka, and this is a safe place where we talk about mental health, well-being, and leveling up, especially if you're a woman. In today's topic, we are going to talk about the 5 signs that you might be having anxious attachment. Why this is important is because if you have anxious attachment style, it is given that it's going to be detrimental for your relationship. And not only that, if you have anxious attachment, it's very likely that you're going to be attracting a toxic partner or a person with avoidant attachment style. In both cases, there's going to be a lot of suffering in a relationship. So let's quickly see what are the 5 signs that you might be suffering from anxious attachment. So, number one is constant need of reassurance. If you find yourself asking for reassurance from your partner constantly, it's a clear-cut sign that you have anxious attachment. If you keep asking your partner, do you love me? Or do you even question that, why would this partner love me? Why would this person love me? That itself is a sign that you have anxious attachment. You cannot believe that this person would like you, or why would he like you? It also means that, let's say, for an example, you are out with your friends and your partner hasn't messaged you or texted you, and immediately there are thoughts running in your mind, and you start thinking, questioning if he really likes me or if he still loves me or what's going on. That is a sign that you have anxious attachment. Number two, fear of abandonment. And anxious attachment and fear of abandonment really go hand in hand. So the anxious attachment happens because there is a fear of abandonment. So that's the relationship, the cause and effect. The cause is the fear of abandonment, and the effect is having anxious attachment. The fear of abandonment really wrecks a relationship. It can wreck a healthy relationship. And I have noticed this fear of abandonment a lot of times in women, where they want to hold on to the guy, hold on to the man in their life, and just make sure that he's always there. For example, in a situation where your partner says that they're going to be late from work because they had some emergency that needs to be addressed, you immediately go on to thinking that now they don't like you anymore, or they're going to leave you, because you cannot accept that there could be a real situation. And instead of being understanding, you immediately become very critical, and the anxiety rises up a lot. And to be honest, it's you, when you understand the anxiety, the root cause of anxiety, you can empathize with that person also. But with the person who really is on the receiving end, it's also very difficult for that person to be always understanding of this anxious attachment. So when you heal yourself, you will notice that your relationship will start thriving more, because the kind of behaviors that you were exhibiting because of your fear of abandonment starts settling down. It won't be, your nervous system will not be always on high alert. Number three is over analyzing, and this has been quite commonly spoken about by women over Instagram reels, that I am a girl who overthinks, and it's taken as a good thing. Actually, over analyzing and overthinking is very unproductive. And imagine you spending all that energy to overthink and overanalyze a small text message from your friend, that you could be utilizing that energy to do something more productive. But instead of that, you're wasting all of that time to think and, analyze it. And the problem with mind is that if you go in the negative direction, it will give you proofs that what you're thinking is correct. If you go in the positive direction, it will give you proofs of what you're thinking is correct. But when you have anxious attachment, more often than not, you will get negative thoughts. And the mind is going to give you proofs that what you're thinking is correct. That's the problem. So over analyzing is a clear-cut sign that you have anxious attachment. Number four is difficulty with independence. And oh my God, this is so crucial, because if you have anxious attachment, it's very difficult for you to be alone. And the number one thing that can help you have secure attachment, or that can help you to learn secure attachment, is self-love and understanding that you are a whole person. I hate it when social media and mainstream media shows everyone and makes it like a truth of life that you are half and you become whole until you meet the right person. You are a whole person in yourself. You don't need anybody to complete you. And when you understand this, and when it becomes internalized and it becomes you, your truth, that you are a whole person and you don't need anybody to complete you, Then what happens is when another person comes into your life, they enhance your life instead of completing it. You see, the pressure of completing somebody is intense, and it's enough to break any relationship. It is enough to suffocate anybody in a relationship. So understanding that you are a whole person with your own separate likings, your own separate interests, hobbies, and when the other person comes in your life, you become together and you enhance each other's life with your presence. And being independent is also very important because you don't want to be in a state where you give up all your friends, all your interests and hobbies and everything just for a partner, just for your husband or boyfriend. And it happens so often that you see women saying that I give up everything for him. Nobody asks you to give up. And when you give up, you develop so much of disgust for that person because you literally left everything for this person and you didn't get that same in return. And that causes a lot of bitterness. So it's very crucial. Self-love, sense of independence, doing things that you like on your own is so important. When they say going to a restaurant by yourself or having a coffee just by yourself itself is healing from anxious attachment. My personal lesson, it was a huge step for me to start going to movie halls by myself because I loved watching movies, and it was okay for me to go there, watch a movie, spend my time by myself. So I was being the company that I wanted. And when you do all of these activities, you have to do it with a sense of self-love. It should not come from a feeling that, oh, poor you, you don't have anybody to accompany you. Oh, poor you, you don't have. It shouldn't come from that. It should come from a place that I am so enjoyable that I want to be with myself. I want to be alone. I want to do the things that I like to do in my own time. I don't want any company at that time. And that stems from self-love. Number 5 is people pleasing. It is, again, another hand-in-hand kind of a thing. If you have anxious attachment, it goes without saying that you will also be a people pleaser because you are anxious of that relationship being broken. So you will go above and beyond to please people or to please anybody so that they don't leave you. Because the fear of being left, abandoned is so strong. Most often, the fear is irrational. It is happening because of a subconscious belief that if you are left alone, you would not be able to survive. And this belief has not developed today. It has not developed last year. It has been developing over all of your childhood years. And because survival is the most important thing when you're a baby, the primal need is survival. And the way babies are tuned in their mind is that survival. The reason why a baby would cry when you put the baby on the bed is because they were created to be with their caregiver in their hand to prevent them from being eaten away by animals when we used to be in the jungles. So it has been coming from those years. So the babies, the children are very survival driven. And if those needs are not met in their childhood, they develop coping mechanism or they develop deep-seated fear that lives with them throughout their life. And the fear sometimes, is so irrational and it lives in your body. So sometimes before your mind can really process the fear, the body has already taken over. The fear is already there. Like your muscle memory, your body is already reacting to that fear that somebody will leave you. For example, if you have a friend who has been close to you and suddenly you start seeing the person is distancing herself from you, immediately your body will start having fear and you will start people pleasing. And this happens automatically. There is no rationale. Like, she's not essential for your survival, let's say, but still the fear is there of abandonment. So it's very irrational, but it's happening spontaneously from your body and your mind, which has been conditioned for a very long time. So people pleasing happens continuously and it is very tiring because you cannot, and with people pleasing comes with a lot of things. Like, you are so scared of putting up your own beliefs, your own opinion, because you want to be liked by people. So you put your needs Last, you think of others' need. You make efforts for other people. But this again is a recipe for disaster, because over the period of time, you will start developing bitterness because you will believe that, oh my God, I'm doing so much for this person and I'm not getting anything in return. It is tiring, it is exhausting, and it is the opposite of self-love. So what helps us navigate different relationship and overcome anxious attachment is having healthy boundaries. Having healthy boundaries is a skill that we need to learn, and we weren't taught of it when we were in our childhood. So I have attached a downloadable toolkit for you which contains a lot of self-help things which you can immediately access and try it on yourself and help develop healthy boundaries slowly and gradually. The link is down in my description box below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next time in my next video. Until then, bye bye.